Ho visto Star Wars 16 volte.
17 times.
Star Wars? 22回見ました.
40 times, and it was great each time.
41 Mal.
About 57 times.
69 fois.
You can never get too much of Star Wars. I've seen the first Star Wars 153 times.
Altogether, Star Wars 324 times.
May 1977. A legion of fans are already waiting when Star Wars opens at Hollywood's legendary Chinese theater. Similar record-breaking crowds gather at the openings in Australia and England. Eager moviegoers rewrite the record books around the world as George Lucas's science fiction adventure becomes an unprecedented international phenomenon. There has indeed been nothing like it in the history of the movies. You are about to become part of the phenomena of Star Wars. In a few minutes, you'll see a movie that's become more than just a movie. For 7 years now, it's been part of my life, and the saga it's given birth to has touched the lives of millions of others. It has a magic, Star Wars. That magic doesn't lie only in its brilliant special effects. Its power derives from its spirit of romance and adventure. It's like the movies and cliffhanging serials of the past. It's an exciting and very special fantasy. And when it came out, the world went instantly Star Wars crazy. In the modern world, success can't be confined to one medium. It spills over into every area of our lives. And so it was from the very beginning with Star Wars. It spawned more Star Wares than anyone could count. Its creatures, its music, its models, it permeated our culture. Within minutes, it seems, collectors were vying to be the first to own the newest Star Wars product. But after 3 movies, the title of champion collector probably must go to the Steuben family of New Kensington, Pennsylvania. The Steubens seem to live, breathe, and eat Star Wars. Their collection is said to be worth over $15,000. But what value can be placed on the affection the world beamed to the film's 2 metallic megastars? R2-D2 and C-3PO were in the forefront of the honors bestowed on the picture. While they got to make their indelible impressions in the cement outside Hollywood's Chinese theater, the movie collected innumerable awards, including 6 coveted Oscars. But perhaps the true measure of the film's success can be taken by assessing its power to touch the lives of its viewers. It isn't so much that the film set box office records wherever it played, but rather that it played such a large role in the lives of many who came to see it. They came and they waited for Star Wars and for each of the 2 sequels that followed. In city after city across America, the same scenario was repeatedly played out.
People will camp out overnight to see the Rose Parade. And this is worth at least 3 times as good as the Rose Parade, so we're here for 3 times as long.
We've been here for 6 days and it's great!
Some even got married in Star Wars movie lines and spent their honeymoons inside at the movies. George Lucas, at the time, explained the fascination with Star Wars.
I think one of the key factors in the success is that it's a positive film. It has heroes and villains, and that it essentially is a fun movie to watch.
The message of Star Wars reached out beyond the movie when President Reagan sent a telegram to Sally Ride aboard the Challenger saying, "May the Force be with you." Even Walter Cronkite, the eminence grise of America's space communication network, visited George Lucas in his intergalactic workshop. Section down here at the Cronkite, in a television special, commented on the possible lasting impact of Star Wars.
The complicated mixture of sophisticated technology, space-age machinery, and starry-eyed fantasy in today's science fiction films just may serve as inspiration for a coming generation of scientists.
Once it was released, the impact of Star Wars was obviously great. But during the making of it, none of us had the slightest idea of what was to come. We were making a movie, and we were enjoying it. Harrison Ford was asked at the time how much fun it was.
It was a lot of fun. How much fun? About this much.
And even more. more fun to make, and much, much more fun to watch. And now, what has to be one of the most extraordinary moments in movie history, the beginning of the Star Wars saga.
I dug R2, and I think he was my hero in Star Wars.
Tonight, for the first time on national television, Warner Brothers gives you a preview look at a spectacular motion picture coming to theaters March 30th.
In 1886, following a shipwreck off the west coast of Africa, an infant child became part of a family of apes. As he grew, he learned the laws of the jungle and eventually claimed the title Lord of the Apes.
You have another family one you have never seen.
My son has returned from Africa.
He is the Earl of Greystone.
He is what the jungle has made him.
Now, the director of Academy Award winner Chariots of Fire brings the authentic Tarzan legend to the screen. Greystone, the legend of Tarzan, Lord of the Apes. Greystone, the legend of Tarzan, Lord of the Apes.
Half of me is the Earl of Greystone. The other half is wild.
At theaters everywhere on March 30th. Rated PG.
Last year, over 2 million people got something of a surprise in the mail. Their first taste of NutraSweet. And of all things, a gumball. What's NutraSweet? It's a sweetening ingredient that isn't fattening. A sweetening ingredient that isn't artificial like saccharin. Isn't bad for your teeth. Tastes just like sugar. And sounds just too good to be true. That's why we mailed out all those free gumballs.
Howdy, Marge. What you got with NutraSweet?
Taste it for yourself in products like these. NutraSweet, the sugar-free taste of sugar.
In 1977, George Lucas put the butter back in popcorn, and Star Wars became probably the most fattening movie of the last 10 years.
How well a car's seams fit together is one good measure of its overall quality. Which is why on the Mercury Topaz, we made sure that each seam wouldn't vary from design standards by more than 1.5 millimeters, which is the thickness of a nickel. We invite you to find out firsthand the kind of thinking that went into the 1984 Topaz. From Mercury.
You are the new American society, the movers and the shakers. Hold on tight to your dream. You are the new coffee generation.
Because coffee is the calm moment that lets you think. Coffee gives you the time to dream it and the vitality to do it. No other drink does that like coffee.
Hold on tight to your dream. Join the coffee achievers.
Do your best.
Waiting here long?
Very unoriginal.
Your legs must be fatigued.
Pooped out.
Let me introduce myself. I'm new Legs Active Support Pantyhose with two-step support.
That's original.
I put effective support here and here, where legs can tire most. That's 2 steps to help prevent pooped-out legs.
Ooh, and comfy. See ya.
New Legs Active Support. 2 giant steps for tired leg kind.
Waiting here long?
Chewy, 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 Nature Valley Chewy. Nature Valley Chewy, granola bars.
It's chewy, this is apple.
Nature Valley Chewy,
Lots of chocolate chips.
Real creamy peanut butter.
Nature Valley Chewy, granola bars.
100% natural goodness. No additives, no preservatives.
Chewy, 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 Nature Valley Chewy. Nature Valley Chewy, granola bars.
Premiering next Sunday.
Looks like the Christmas party's starting a little early this year.
Suzanne Plachette is sexy.
I used to take those pointy paper cups and put them in my glass, you know, so that I...
She's a no-nonsense reporter who has a way with words.
Could we just stop clowning around?
And her way with men.
I've dipped bigger women than you.
Suzanne Plachette is Maggie Briggs. It's the music world's biggest night. CBS and the Grammy Awards have brought you the greatest moments in music history. Now, Michael Jackson is nominated for a record 12 Grammys live Tuesday.
This is CBS.
I joined the club. I became a ShopWriter because ShopRite proved that, yes, you can find real freshness at a supermarket. Look at this. Crisp. Really good color on the meat. Fresh baked goods, farm-fresh dairy. And how's this for fresh fish? The reason is ShopRite's a cooperative run by people who work hard to get me the freshest. And it paid off. Made me a ShopWriter.
ShopRite. We bring high quality and low prices together for the ShopWriter in you.
Coming up on the Channel 10 News.
Baldness. Millions of people will do almost anything to cover it up. But if there's one thing worse than baldness, it's getting scalped by dangerous hair replacement techniques that could take your money and could cause permanent damage.
I grew no hair at all, and I went through tremendous suffering.
I'm Herb Denenberg, and I'll show you the hair replacement methods that work and how to avoid being ripped off or hurt by the ones that don't. In my Channel 10 special report, Baldness, Getting Scalped, Monday on the Channel 10 News.
Noon Break premieres Monday on Channel 10.
The first time I saw Star Wars, I was struck by the fact that R2-D2 and C-3PO reminded me a lot of Laurel and Hardy. You know, what a fine mess we're always getting into.
Safety isn't something to fool around with. So as impressive as it may be that this Mercury Topaz can safely handle this stringent government test, it's just one of many safety standards that Topaz either met or surpassed. We invite you to find out firsthand the kind of thinking that went into the 1984 Topaz. From Mercury.
Scott Mason, spokesman for Fluoride Rinse from Johnson & Johnson. Well, Scott's saying kids still get cavities, even with brushing. But Fluoride Rinse could cut them 40% more. A squeeze gives you just the right amount. Good point. The American Dental Association recommends a Fluoride Rinse daily, even for adults. Just ask Scott's dad. Well put, gentlemen. The best thing to happen to teeth in 25 years.
Another breakthrough in computer price and performance from RadioShack. The sale-priced TRS-80 Model 4. It's fast, easy to use, has a large display, and is compatible with thousands of programs. And now at $200 off, Model 4's built-in features, power, and versatility give you the most for your money. The sale-priced TRS-80 Model 4 from $799 to $1999. Only at RadioShack and RadioShack Computer Centers. The computer experts.
Do you know what Kit Kat has in store for you? Those light, crispy wafers smothered in rich, creamy chocolate. Kit Kat, the chocolate bar so good. You roar. Kit Kat, the crispy chocolate bar so good you roar.
Say, a funny thing happened when I started to play Congo Bongo. Hey, these nuts are crazy. Who are these guys? Hey, fellas, let's not get carried away. Oh, no. Maybe I'll go for a swim. On second thought, maybe I'll go for a walk. Hey, lady, this is a one-way street. Hey, that's the guy I've been looking for.
Congo Bongo. Buy it now and save $5 on Star Trek or Buck Rogers. Now that should put a smile on your face.
Monday, Scarecrow and Mrs. King have dealt themselves into a dangerous game of...
Selling rockets.
To the enemy.
It's gonna blow.
Say what?
I said it's gonna blow.
And on AfterMASH, what's Father Mulcahy doing in a flea-bag hotel?
All I want is some peace of mind.
Then...
You're a wreck.
Will a very nervous Kurt tie the knot on Newhart?
I know how to give mouth-to-mouth resuscitation.
And Tom finally expresses his desire to Maggie.
Will you marry me?
On Emerald Point, Monday night.
Good evening. From CBS News, this is Newsbreak. After 17 months, the last of the U.S. Marine peacekeepers left the land base near Beirut Airport today to go to the Navy ships offshore. There were mixed emotions, but most of the men seemed happy enough to be getting out of there. No sooner did the Marines leave headquarters than Shiite militia moved in. There was fighting today across Beirut's Green Line. A French soldier in the peacekeeping force was killed, and an American priest died of shrapnel wounds. He's identified as Father James Michael Finnegan. In the Persian Gulf War, there are reports tonight that Iran may have as many as 300,000 troops massed on the Iraqi border for a major new offensive. Tehran today accused both the United States and the Soviet Union of secretly helping the other side, the Iraqis. Congress has a deadline of midnight tomorrow night to extend a law that forbids merchants to charge more to customers who use credit cards. There's been heavy lobbying by consumer groups to let the law lapse, and just as heavy lobbying by the banks and credit card companies not to let it lapse. More after this.
When you think about it, if you don't deserve the best, who does? Come to think of it, I'll have a Heineken.
With the New Hampshire primary only 2 days off, Walter Mondale felt comfortable enough to campaign in Vermont and Maine today. Polls show Mondale still well in front in New Hampshire. Some polls show Senator Gary Hart now in second place as they come into the stretch. A scientist at Texas A&M says humans and cows are a perfect match in gene traits, and that cows can be used instead of mice in experimental research. That may seem like a good idea in Texas. Elsewhere, mice may seem easier to get into those little cages. I'm Charles Osgood. See you later on the CBS Sunday Night News.
This is CBS.
After Burger King came to 9th Street, no one could say no to flame broiling.
Well, Bobby had to have one, and little Will led to a sizzling flame broiled waffle, though nothing else would do. They love that juicy goodness, that flavor all locked in. No one could say no, no one could say no, no one could say no to flame broiling. Aren't you hungry, hungry for Burger King now?
Even though Hewlett-Packard technology has produced a number of firsts, some of you still don't know who we are. Or maybe now you will. Introducing the touchscreen personal computer, the Hewlett-Packard 150. By merely touching the screen, you can find an address, move a paragraph, change a forecast, make a chart with just your finger. Now nothing stands between you and what you can become. Hewlett-Packard personal computers, setting you free.
Behind the scenes of the New Hampshire primary tonight.
This portion of Star Wars is sponsored by Pepsi. For a refreshing taste time after time, it's Pepsi, the choice of a new generation.
When Star Wars first opened, it had such an impact on my house. Not only did my son love the movie, but he was so fascinated with the special effects, weren't we all? It inspired a whole new generation of filmmakers.
Catch, boy.
Choice of a new generation.
This tugboat crew has a plan, and they begin by digging into those in every Kellogg's pack. Keep them coming back for 2 scoops of plump, juicy raisins in Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Hooked up and in command, they're working now, but they're thinking how they love and Golden Flakes of bran. They're turning back again for 2 scoops of plump, juicy raisins in Kellogg's Raisin Bran.
You may take a door for granted, but in the 1984 Mercury Topaz, we didn't. Consider for a moment how this door meets the roof. It actually becomes a part of the roof, resulting in a solid fit and improved aerodynamics. We invite you to find out firsthand the kind of thinking that went into the 1984 Topaz. From Mercury.
Live Tuesday, the 26th Annual Grammy Awards. Join Irene Cara, Julio Iglesias, Melissa Manchester, Linda Ronstadt, Donna Summer, the Oak Ridge Boys, and host John Denver. Who will win the recording industry's highest honors? Watch music history being made live Tuesday, the 26th Annual Grammy Awards.
This is CBS.
Let me give it to you straight. When I play the daily number, I bet straight. It's easy. It's fun. You pick 3 digits. If they match the 3 digits drawn in the exact order, it pays 500 to 1. That's $500 for every dollar you bet. Straight. The daily number. Win big. Play it straight, where you see this sign.
The response to Kiss 100 has been incredible. You should see the letters we get. One listener wrote, "This is the first radio station my husband and I have ever agreed on." Another said, "Kiss isn't loud and brash, but it also doesn't put us to sleep." And another listener wrote, "We love your music and offer you a hug for that. After all, what's a kiss without a hug?" Isn't that nice?
Noon Break premieres Monday on Channel 10.
Han Solo has a way of getting into and out of trouble. The only problem is his mouth. The more he opens it, the more trouble he gets himself into.
How well a car handles is directly related to the way it responds to its driver. With Mercury Topaz, we combine front-wheel drive and four-wheel independent suspension to put the road back where it belongs, in the hands of the driver. We invite you to experience the 1984 Topaz for yourself. From Mercury.
Touch it. Feel the sensation that women from the Orient have known for centuries. Silk.
Today, there's a pantyhose that looks and feels just like silk.
Sheer elegance.
Sheer elegance. The same silky smooth feel on your skin, the same shimmering look on your legs. Silky enough to charm a samurai.
Sheer Elegance Pantyhose by Leg.
Sheer Elegance.
Till now, the only way to get really fresh-tasting spaghetti sauce
They ready?
was to grow your own vegetables. Introducing Ragu Chunky Garden-Style Spaghetti Sauces, the chunkiest, freshest-tasting sauces we ever put in a jar. Bursting with the garden-fresh taste of chunky tomatoes, tender mushrooms, crunchy green peppers, sweet onions.
Good sauce.
New Ragu Chunky Garden Style in 3 garden-fresh varieties. That's Italian.
Laura, who drank all the Pepsi?
And don't tell me it was some strange creature from another planet either, okay?
Yes, Mom.
Can anyone resist the sparkling taste of Pepsi? Anyone?
Take it easy on the Pepsi. Okay? I'm sorry.
Pepsi, the choice of a new generation.
Next Sunday.
Looks like the Christmas party's starting a little early this year.
Suzanne Plachette is sexy.
I used to take those pointy paper cups and put them in my blouse, you know, so that I...
She's a no-nonsense reporter who has a way with words.
Could we just stop clowning around?
And her way with men.
I've dipped bigger women than you.
Suzanne Plachette is Maggie Briggs. Premiering March 7th. Meet Mama Maloney. She takes care of one hilarious household.
I can't breathe when you do that.
Wednesday, March 7th, it's Mama Maloney.
This is CBS.
Channel 10 News Break, sponsored by Acme Markets, your store for low prices.
Good evening, I'm John Blunt.
And I'm Terry Ruggles. The phased American pullback from Beirut is complete, and Shiite Muslims have taken over control of the airports.
I've been talking to voters and campaign workers as we get ready for the first primary here in New Hampshire. The full report tonight on the Channel 10 News.
And in Newark, New Jersey, fire kills 4 children, 40 people are homeless.
A rare baby rhino born at the Philadelphia Zoo but dies tragically this afternoon. And if you live near the Schuylkill Expressway, look out for a detour tomorrow morning. Hugh Gannon with the Sports Extra. Herb Clark has snow in the forecast. Right after Star Wars here on the Channel 10.
Tell a friend you can say, tell a friend you should know. Tell a friend you will find Acme's prices are low.
Yes, ma'am. Acme's reduced every beef and pork roast up to 50 cents a pound. Terrific, huh? Well, you'll save $2.50 alone on a 5-pound center-cut pork loin roast. I saved $3 on a 6-pound bottom-round beef roast. Yeah, Acme's reduced all beef and pork roasts up to 50 cents a pound.
Say that, Acme!
Tell a friend.
Behind the scenes at the New Hampshire primary on the Channel 10 News.
When I first saw Star Wars, I was very proud of the fast-shooting, straight-talking Princess Leia. But then why not? I'm Princess Leia's mother.
So how come you didn't invite me?
Nobody was invited. They just showed up.
Aren't you wondering why I didn't show up?
Well, yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
When did you start drinking this?
Since they improved it.
Oh, now it's got NutraSweet.
Yeah.
It's good.
So, let's go over to Freddie's house.
Okay, but here's why I didn't show up.
Taste. Improved by Diet Pepsi.
Just because the phone company's changing, do I have to change the AT&T phone that's in my home? I mean, why change something that works as good as this? I called AT&T's toll-free number and found out I don't have to lift a finger to keep old reliable right here on the job. I can keep on leasing or buying. So why don't you do what I'm doing during all these big changes in the telephone business? Relax.
AT&T, we set the standards.
Traveling with the Olympic team, you don't always get a chance to set your meals at a certain time during the day.
Satisfies you.
You just, through the hard work and everything it takes to get ready, you're just naturally going to be hungry. And with snack foods such as Snickers, you know, you can satisfy that hunger.
Packed with fresh peanuts, peanut butter nougat, caramel, and milk chocolate.
satisfies you.
Packed with peanuts, Snickers really satisfies.
The Snickers bar certainly works for me.
Official snack food of the 1984 Winter Olympics.
Carrie is so very...
different. It doesn't feel like ordinary lotion. It's concentrated. It was specially made for dry, rough skin.
Carrie is so very...
rich in emollients. It even made my rough elbows and heels soft again.
Carrie is so very...
Recommended by many dermatologists. So I'll pay more for Carrie. After all, it's the only skin I've got.
Carrie is so very...
different.
So very...
rich.
So very...
Recommended.
Carrie is so very...
Don't you wish everything fit like Lee? Fit like Lee jeans do. Don't you wish everything fit as well as Lee jeans fit on you? Don't you wish everything felt as good? Don't you wish everything only could? Don't you wish everything fit?
Lee, the brand that fits.
Well, naturally, we were just kids when we saw Star Wars. And now Pebbles loves it. It's such an incredible movie. Yabba dabba doo.
Don't you wish everything fit like Lee? Fit like Lee jeans do. Don't you wish everything fit as well as Lee jeans fit on you? Don't you wish everything felt as good? Don't you wish everything only could? Don't you wish everything fit?
Lee, the brand that fits.
We get a kick out of legs and it shows. From our heads to our toes, our leg pantyhose make us feel great each step we take. And it shows in our smile that legs fit our style. Oh, we get a kick out of legs and it shows. Nothing beats a great pair of legs. Socks are shot. Treads are thin, muffler's gone. Well, come on in. There's more for your life at Sears. Where else could you change your tires? Take your aim, smooth out your ride, and catch the game. There's more for your life, for the times of your life. There's more for your life at Sears.
The only thing worse than losing the New Hampshire primary is winning the New Hampshire primary, because success does have its price. So for Wisconsin and the anxious upset stomachs that will come with thumping heads and the thumping heads that'll come with anxious upset stomachs, there are the medicines of Alka-Seltzer. Alka-Seltzer for the symptoms of stress that can come from New Hampshire success.
Wednesday, Michael Learned, Geraldine Page, Rosanna Arquette, and Frederick Forrest in one family struggle with pride, passion, and murder. The Parade. Thursday.
She's not innocent.
A rebellious beauty with dangerous friends has Magnum racing to save her life. And...
Freeze! Freeze! How do you say freeze in Chinese?
Foreign spies con Simon and Simon into a scheme of murder. Then, on Knots Landing,
you should unfreeze your assets and let Lotus Point go through.
Gary makes a costly decision. Thursday.
This is CBS.
Bienvenue. Welcome. Carlos Orizate. Welcome.
Welcome to TWA's Europe, with great low fares like London for just $4.49 round trip, or Rome just $7.71, or Paris just $6.71. Welcome.
Back in '69, Subaru was pretty much alone in introducing front-wheel drive. In '75, with on-demand four-wheel drive, we were alone. And now with turbo traction, turbo plus on-demand four-wheel drive and automatic transmission, we're alone again. And we don't plan to be part of the crowd in the future either.
Inventory Bonanza, best model selection ever at your Subaru dealer now.
Baldness, getting scalped. A special report Monday.
There actually seems to be something behind this thing they call the Force. It's capable of the same positive energy that a strong belief in ourselves can deliver. May the Force be with us all.
It says here the temperature on Venus averages 800 degrees.
So let's go to the beach instead.
29 million miles away.
The beach is closer.
Here, finish this off before your ice cubes melt.
Is that what I've been drinking?
Yeah, they improved it.
That's 1 calorie? Oh, it's got that new sweetener in it.
It's sweeping the planet.
Which planet?
You know, the one at the beach.
Taste. Improved by Diet Pepsi.
Chewy, 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 Nature Valley Chewy. Nature Valley Chewy, granola bars.
It's chewy, this is apple.
Nature Valley Chewy.
Lots of chocolate chips.
Real creamy peanut butter.
Nature Valley Chewy, granola bars.
100% natural goodness. No additives, no preservatives.
Chewy, 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 Nature Valley Chewy. Nature Valley Chewy, granola bars.
Michael, having you cater this party was a great idea. And your cheese dip is made with Velveeta? Don't you use natural cheeses?
Well, that's what's in Velveeta. Velveeta processed cheese bread is cheddar and other natural cheeses. Milk and other wholesome ingredients are carefully balanced in the Velveeta process. It melts smoother, cooks easier than any chunk cheese alone.
The cheese dip was a hit.
It was nothing but Velveeta. It's all in this little yellow box.
Can Lysol disinfectant spray help cut down on colds? Some leading scientists believe disinfecting is one way to cut down on the spread of colds. Surfaces in your home can get contaminated with rhinovirus, a leading cause of colds. You touch them, rub your eyes or nose, and you can pick up a cold. Research shows that Lysol spray, sprayed on surfaces, can kill the rhinovirus. That's no guarantee your family won't catch colds. But if Lysol spray can help reduce the chances, isn't it worth it?
I teach aerobics, so I have to take good care of myself. I jog, watch what I eat, and I'm just as careful about the pain reliever I use. That's why I take Tylenol. I was first given Tylenol in the hospital. It worked great without bothering my stomach like aspirin did. It so happens Tylenol's the pain reliever hospitals use most. I can't think of a better reason to trust Tylenol.
For relief you can trust. Trust Tylenol. Hospitals do. Tylenol in regular and extra strength.